issue.
Exactly.
And I think the big part of that, though, is the willingness to feel that. And that's why I think Western medicine has gone in such a dark direction. So many patients don't feel like they're being treated unless they are given a pharmaceutical. A lot of what we do here, and we have to emphasize, is doing just as much work as we are and as much as work as the testosterone is. Everything has to come together to work as a cohesive team for it to be effective.
Welcome to the Montana Podcast, where we uncover the best-kept secrets of Big Sky Country. Join us as we highlight the hidden gems and unique stories that make Montana the place we know and love. Whether you're a local or a visitor, get ready to experience the true spirit of Montana, one story at a time.
I actually don't have a medical background. My wife and I bounced around in the oil industry for a long time. As my parents started getting older, we moved back up to Montana, and we're looking at businesses to get into so that we could stay up here permanently. In the process of that, I started going to doctor's appointments and stuff with my parents, and I was just taking note of the way that they were being treated from a medical standpoint. I'd go in, and the specialist it would prescribe my dad a medication, and I'd say, "What's this medication for?" And they'd typically it'd be, "We're trying to counteract the side effects of this other medication." And so I'd go down the rabbit hole with them of, then what are the side effects of this one that you're now prescribing? And they'd list those off, and I'd be like, "What are you going to do about that when that pops up?" And they're like, "We'll give him this other medication to counteract those side effects." I'm like, "You're not really getting to a root cause here." And so had a bad taste in my mouth with that already. My wife sat me down, and she's like, "Hey, I want you to look at this franchise opportunity." When I first looked at it, I was like, Game Day Men's Health. I said, "I'm not interested." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "I don't want to get into something where we're prescribing steroids to gym bros." And she said, "That's not what this is." And me being me, I had her explain it to me rather than read about it. And basically what we're doing is we're trying to take guys as they get older and their natural decline in testosterone starts happening, we're bridging for them. We're putting that testosterone back in the system and trying to get them at an optimum level. And as I started doing my own research into it, I was like, if my dad would have had this 10 years ago, it may not have prolonged his life, but it might have improved the quality of the life that he had left.
Yeah.
And so my dad ended up passing away in December of 23. And the staff's been the same way. It's been our mission to not let that happen to guys as they get older.
That's really cool. Honestly, when I first started seeing the ads, I was like, Game Day? Is this just another sports clips?
Yeah.
What is this? And I've been trying to get it on TRT for a while. Helena is just a complete nightmare. And I didn't even know something like this existed. And I just came check it out. You guys are like, came in here, in and out, hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. It was the chill vibe. I was like, those guys are cool. It didn't feel like a normal doctor's office. It wasn't a hard sell. They're like, you want it or not? We don't want to give a shit. That's what the story with your dad. What can we do to improve somebody's life? I think that's really cool. When you were getting established in Montana, was getting a clinic like this challenging to happen?
There's definitely some hurdles from a licensing standpoint. We have to, testosterone's a DEA regulated substance. Our clinician has to have a DEA license. Our medical director oversees the overall clinic. There's a lot of outside training that they'll have to do through Health Hormone Institute. But the nice thing, especially with our first two employees, they really jumped into it, took it on. I would put my staff up against just about any other game day out there as far as that goes. I feel like we've really excelled on that side of things.
So I've only been to one game day.
I know the other owners of the game days in Montana, they have great staff.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Where I was going with that is how the offices ran is fucking like,
yeah.
When I left here, I was like, those guys are cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Everyone should come here. Even if you're a chick, come on down.
Guys in general hate going to the doctor. It's,
Yeah.
you know, as a rule of thumb, we hate going to a doctor's office. Part of the mission of game day is to have some place that guys can come. It's a place to hang out, a hunting show or snowboarding or something cool going on the TV. I'm genuinely interested. Anybody that walks through the door, I'm genuinely interested about your background, where you're from, how you got here.
I've worked in medicine for about 12 years now, and this is the only clinic where patients come in when they don't need to be seen. They come hang out. There's like, how you guys doing? Let's just hang out with the game day crew. Guess what? I lost 5 pounds. Guess what? I got to get off my antidepressant that I've been on for 5 years. Their wins are our wins, and they're just as excited to come. We celebrate them probably bigger than they do. Even when they leave, we're like, oh my gosh, that is just phenomenal. It really shows how much we care about each person that walks in the door.
Okay, so you just unpacked a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
One, people come in here on their day, like when they don't have an appointment.
Very regularly. Exactly.
I'll do everything I can to avoid going to the doctor, even if I like the staff, which I don't everywhere. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I even have some guys when they're on the schedule for like follow-up labs, they'll come in a half hour before their appointment, and I'll be like, "Hey, I got you down for 9 o'clock." They show up at 8:30, and then they'll say, "Yeah, I want to come in and hang out. I want to come in and BS with you." And I'm like, "Cool, let's hang out."
Yeah.
And Lauren and I will regularly get emails of whatever wins that they're celebrating, whether it be a win within their partner in their relationship or weight loss or lifting. We regularly get those emails and check-ins and really get to maintain those relationships and watch them build and walk them through the process instead of that one and done of, here's a medicine, we're going to see you in 6 months, good luck, you do your thing. I feel like we get to really walk through each step of the way with them within all aspects of their wellness and not just necessarily testosterone. We get talked to about everything.
To go back on how people are like, oh, I got off my antidepressant or whatever that is. What is your role here?
I'm the lead MA and training coordinator here. And so my history is actually expansive. I'm a pharmacy technician, advanced EMT, and then I was a firefighter back in the day as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Primarily where my experience came from was when I was a medical assistant in surgery. So I did oral facial trauma surgery. And a lot of that is the same thing of taking someone where they're really uncomfortable and really nervous. Nobody likes dentists. And then we're going to combine that with surgery. And how do I take the worst part of their day and make it better? And how do we make you comfortable to know that you're going to be okay and it's going to be just fine? So that was my biggest passion when I heard about what they were starting. I came in and interviewed. They hadn't even opened yet. The whole clinic was up in boxes. I don't even think we had a label on the door yet. It was brand new. And I was like, man, same thing as you guys are talking. What is this bro clinic? What are we pushing around here? I was really interested in it because for my health history, I've dealt with ovarian cancer and had a hysterectomy. Learning about hormone therapy and balance, and mine was treated with targeted hormone therapies. Very aware of the lack of care in our community that we have available. And a lot of people don't realize they need it. They're not going to seek it out because our doctors are so shorthanded. They want you to feel better, but the amount of monitoring that it takes to safely put a patient on T, they have higher acuity patients that are dealing with strokes, heart attacks, other things that they're having to manage consistently. So a patient on T, we have to make sure your blood's not thickening. So we're checking your hemoglobin, your hematocrit. We're double checking your estrogen levels, making sure those aren't raising. If they do, we put you on an anastrozole. So there's so many things that we have to follow through and watch you with that I think at regular primary cares, it's so busy that they don't have the ability and capacity to do. And I realized that this isn't anything that had really existed in Montana yet. We had people coming from Billings, and I was excited to do it, but I didn't realize quite the impact that we would be making every single day.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I realized was testosterone is one of those things that people don't think about, but it's such a broad range of symptoms. I'm tired. Okay, who isn't tired these days? I'm feeling a little depressed. Everybody deals with depression. They deal with sleep problems, and we just give them medicine for it. It's here's this medicine to fix it. As Dwayne said with his father, there's so many medicines that do help things, but oftentimes there's another underlying problem that ends up causing as well. And a big one for that is erectile dysfunction. With erectile dysfunction, when you're on antidepressants, you do have a harder time with that. The blood flow does change. You do have issues. So now you're treating the depression, but you're adding on erectile dysfunction and issues within your relationship, your marriage, your wife, and it has nothing to do with her. She may not understand that, and that's going to worsen the depression in a different way. Testosterone has been this really amazing thing that we've seen so many patients come in and they're actually being able to get off a lot of those medicines and see so many different aspects. And insane.
A lot of my clients, they're chiropractors, and like why I choose to work with chiropractors is because it's more of a holistic approach.
Mm-hmm.
And the nervous system, like I thought chiropractors was a go get cracked by like a bag of potato chips. And I was like, that's stupid. You're not a real doctor. And then I dealt with pain in my shoulder for years and went to a chiropractor. She barely touched me. And I was like, what the fuck? I just paid money for this. And then she's like, how do you feel? I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Pain in my shoulder's gone.
And you didn't have to have a super aggressive painkiller or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of fixing a root issue.
Exactly.
And I think the big part of that, though, is the willingness to feel that. And that's why I think Western medicine has gone in such a dark direction. So many patients don't feel like they're being treated unless they are given a pharmaceutical. A lot of what we do here, and we have to emphasize, is doing just as much work as we are and as much as work as the testosterone is. Everything has to come together to work as a cohesive team for it to be effective. You can't just give a medicine and make it better, but it's an all comprehensive treating your body better, focusing on what was the root cause of that to then fix.
And that's one of the reasons that what we do here, we don't have a dietitian in-house, but we have one that we work with. Or we have a guy coming in for weight loss. This is something to help you get going, but to really get the effects, you got to make a lifestyle change. We have a couple of different dietitians that we refer them to depending on what's going on with them.
They're phenomenal.
Yep.
It's not a normal dietitian where you walk in and they shame you for, okay, you need to eat all of these things and give you this ridiculously unmanageable list
Yep.
of things that you're like, how do I create all these new habits? She sits down with you. She says, okay, tell me your day to day. What do you do right now? How much do you work? How much are you traveling? Now, if you're eating McDonald's 8 times per week, let's start with cutting it back to 3. Let's do protein shakes while you're driving instead of a McDonald's shake, and just implements things that are within their lifestyle to be easy and accessible, but make those healthy choices.
Yeah.
And she herself had also gone through it. So that's where I think any medical provider or entrepreneurs in medicine, I think if you've been on that side of the bed and you've experienced it, there's a whole different level of understanding. And she has been there. She's done that. She's gone through the surgery, injections, every part of the weight loss process, and has successfully kept it off and made it a true lifestyle change. And that's what her passion is, to push that forward.
Yeah. So dietitians, we have gyms that we refer people to get them going because, like Sam said, it's not a magic shot. You've got to put some work into it too. And so we want them to go work out. We have a partnership with a supplement store that I truly believe in here in Bozeman, where you can go in there and they've got one of those in-body analyzers, and they let you step on that for free. And then the now owner goes through and comes up with a custom nutrition plan for you, so that you're just not going through their store and buying crap that you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He's giving you a guide. Here's how you're going to get there. We work with a couple of personal trainers to send guys to if they're uncomfortable just jumping in at the gym. Sex therapists for guys that are dealing with ED issues. We're trying to find a good chiropractor because, like you, I'm a big believer in chiropractic care.
Yeah.
It's an extra thing in that toolbox to keep you off these aggressive pain medications and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's what's so unique about Game Day is it's a free consultation.
Yep.
And we're so truly passionate about wellness that if we can't help, number one, we're not going to push anything. Number two, we really do want to help find those resources. We understand how overwhelming it can be when you Google chiropractor and 40 of them come up. How the heck do you decide which one is going to be the same type for what I'm looking for?
Right.
But we're really trying to build our list of primary care providers, chiropractors, different things that
Even
we believe in how they do it as well. Yeah, urology. We want to be able to find a good list that practices medicine in the same patient-focused sense that we do, that we can help make that easier for them to access. Maybe we can't help them, but we have some resources to push it forward and find someone that can.
I love that. That's awesome. When I came in here, I didn't feel like I was being sold to at all. No shaming. It was a really cool vibe. And I love what you guys are doing. This is super cool. So you have one in Bozeman, in the works of Billings.
Yep.
Do you have an address for the one in Billings?
Yeah, it's 993 South 24th Street West, Suite A.
And going to be in June?
Yep. We're shooting to be rocking and rolling on June 4th.
Cool. And what's the address in Bozeman?
1165 North 14th Ave.
What's the phone number?
406-219-5627.
And is it just gamedaybozeman.com?
GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Bozeman.
Cool. And Instagram is gameday
_Bozeman. Yep. GameDay_Bozeman. I think Facebook is just Game Day Bozeman. Our social media isn't always the greatest, but we're trying to get better at it. If somebody messages me through one of those platforms, I'm usually pretty quick at responding to it. Quickest way is to just go to the website and fill out the online form. That kicks you right into our CRM, and then you start getting texts from us right away.
Cool. I appreciate you guys letting me come by and having you on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Any last words, Lisa?
Thanks, Dan.
Our philosophy here is every man deserves to know what his level is. That initial test with us is free. We get you your testosterone results within 20 to 25 minutes of the blood draw, and you get a consultation with Dr. Lauren where she goes over what those results mean and comes up with a custom treatment plan for you. If you're not interested, you at least walk out the door having that baseline what that testosterone is, because really for guys at the big level, we should know.
Yeah, I had no idea I thought my levels were low, but I didn't know.
So many people wait until it's a true problem to come in. I think it's so important, just like women, for their health. We do pap smears, mammograms, many different preventative screenings. Number one here, we do PSA screening. That is the number one leading cause of cancer in men for prostate cancer, right? PSA. So that elevates, we can give you a warning. We've had 2 people that we had to send to a urology to get screened for cancer. They had absolutely no idea. Just knowing your baseline level at a start and come hang out with us once a year. We don't mind. It's going to be free every single year, but you can at least see what those levels are doing and what your baseline is. And if it's dropped for you, or if you're feeling this energy level, but it was better when it was 200 points higher, who knows? It doesn't have to be a problem to come in, but take handle of your own healthcare.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hashtag.
That should be your tagline. Hashtag.
Take handle of your own healthcare. We're doing it. We'll make it popular.
There you go. Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you.